ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro League action. Of course, game number 1 now officially over. Optic Nation with a 3-1 dispatch of Team Kaliber, who, Matt, just can't really get things going.
Not too much of a shock.
All right, mister, I predicted it. Whoop-de-doo, I'm now in the lead even further.
This one, I think, is going to go in favor of Elevate. Not entirely sure it's going to be that close.
Yeah? This is the one we all had across the board.
Right.
As being an Elevate game. We looked at it and we were like, yep. Pretty comfortable that we all felt strongly about them. Of course, Epsilon NA going to be going up against Elevate. And in terms of who's hosting what, it's worth mentioning Epsilon will host map number 1 and also map number 4. So, of course, 2, 3, and 5 go over to Elevate. Now, band hosts, going to see Remy Band and also Saints Band too.
Interesting. So you're going to see Royalty probably going to be hosting for this Epsilon squad. And then on the side of Elevate, maybe Classic or Apathy.
Apathy, maybe.
Apathy, I think, is hosted in the past.
Yeah, he'll consistently go off on host, that's for sure. Now, I didn't actually get a chance to see Royalty at the Season 3 relegation. It was a big buzz really came off the back of that event. Obviously, plays on a very high sensitivity. I believe it's 12, much like European player Targa, who just kind of snaps. And we've seen some sick plays, especially the subreddit had Royalty turning on nade shot. What just looked absolutely insane.
Really weird play.
He just has such quick movement. Now, you've been around FPS your entire life. Like multiple games, multiple titles, everything you could ever see. Now, high sensitivity in Call of Duty especially has always been something that, pub stars do, that your trick shotters, etc. do. In competitive play, like across any FPS, like sensitivity is normally relatively low. Like, how weird is it to...
Unless you're talking like an Unreal, or like Quake.
I mean, all right, console FPS.
Like, I mean, you can get away with it in Halo.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a really high sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was a little kid and I was really good, I'd play in like 6.
See, that's the thing. Like when I was playing
then
the old school cards, I was playing like 9s and 10s because like it was just fun, like just spinning around and just destroying someone. But it's weird. It's just so strange to see a player like Royalty still using such a high sensitivity. It's very rare in competitive Call of Duty. We're actually going to start things off on board with him simply because I haven't actually witnessed him play. And was this shot with his bow like ever shaky, ever questionable, or is it just something that he's just so used to that it's just so easy for him now?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, I think you're so used to it that's pretty easy. I mean, we see him do some nice things with the AR. He's able to put those shots down pretty consistently.
You can see just like right there, from looking to left and right, how quick he's able to do it. It's ridiculous. Now, for some of the newer viewers to competitive Call of Duty, can you just kind of break down the kind of advantages and disadvantages to such a high sensitivity?
I mean, obviously, with the higher sensitivity, you're able to just get places faster with your crosshair all over your screen. Obviously, disadvantages, it's a lot harder to keep it consistent on one player. So that's really kind of the two big advantages and disadvantages for having that high sensitivity. If you can control it, it's great. If you can't control it and your shot gets all over the place, like you'll see him probably be more inconsistent. Like he had a great Season 3 relegation, but you'll probably see over the course of the season, he'll be inconsistent because some days it's like there, some days it's not. And you really, once you start messing with that sensitivity, it's kind of tough.
Well, Swanee, going to be one of the other assault rifle players for this Epsilon squad. Nice to see him back playing in the North American season or the Pro League rather, for MLG. Of course, started the season off with Optic Nation, who we just saw, or started the game off with Optic Nation, and stuff just didn't really click for that squad. Had to go back over to Europe, did some analysis work at multiple different events, and now back playing and off to a pretty decent start. 6 and 5, of course, the Drift Hardpoint, if you clearly can't tell, can be map number 1 in this series. And would you say that strongly favors Elevate, Matt, or do you think maybe the AR-heavy Epsilon team could potentially take that? Because when we talked about Elevate, we looked at them and we're like, all right, this is very strong SMG team.
You know what, Elevate, they can do a little bit of everything though, Ben. I would say Saints pretty good AR. Seen Apathy run an AR from time to time, do it pretty well. I think Slacked and Classic, I mean, all 4 of those guys can really run any role. So I think Slacked as the main AR, that's really the one thing you're going to be looking to see how he adjusts to that. And how he does it full time against the top caliber guys. But Elevate, not showing any signs of really that hurting them at all. I mean, Saints running the AR, he's going to be 11 and 7 for them. looks like that's going to be slacked on a horse streak as well. So Elevate getting off to a nice start here.
Yeah, still pretty close game in terms of the score at 56 and 42. Royalty trying to pick up a kill outside, unable to do so. He's currently leading his team 10 and 8. We talked about communication being such a big issue. Swanee said it himself. Now, from our perspective, casting the Pro League, we're not really going to be able to like tell, I guess. But what would be a couple of maybe telltale signs that you could see, if that makes sense? Like, what should we be looking at in terms
I think
of how good is that
you really can't tell.
Nothing at all?
No, there's really no way to tell at the beginning of a game. I think you're just going to have to wait and see how their performances go and then see, you know, the player reactions to those. I imagine they lose tonight. It is not going to be a happy camp on the Epsilon squad. I mean
that would be 0-2 start, right?
An 0-2 start. You imagine if they were to lose these two, probably two pretty poor losses, some ugly losses. So you'd expect them to not be too happy with it. And then communication's something hard to fix, especially with a team that doesn't have a set leader.
I mean, you look at the team, right? Royalty, relatively, like, new, I guess is probably the best way of putting it. He's been playing for a while, but never really on the pro scene.
Right.
Been playing in tournaments, etc. He has a big name for himself around a lot of pro players, but we've never really seen him on that pro level, on a pro team, etc. You know, you got Remy and Nagafen, you know, second place at TR, but neither of those two led the team. Obviously, Facento was the in-game leader for TR at the champs, and then you have Swanee, who isn't really known for leading teams. He's known for just doing his job and doing it extremely well. So if you had to kind of pick one for that in-game leadership, who do you kind of look at?
I think you kind of looked at Remy and Nagafen. Those two are actually probably the most vocal on the team, to be honest. So when we did a lot of the listens in that Season 3 relegation, you really heard those two the most out of everybody. So going to be looking at those two, see if they can keep it going in the communication department, see if one of them can step up and really be the vocal leader this team needs.
Interesting. Well, the game extremely close. 18-9, in fact 19 now to 83. You've got at the top of the scoreboard.
There's that avalanche, man.
Yeah, you gotta love the avalanche, man. Look at it, it's gonna be so snowy. Look at it, there it is. Anyway, Slacked actually on your screen now. Currently at 15 and 12. Saints leading the team at 20 and 13 in terms of kills. Most kills in the lobby. And this game is so back and forth right now, Matt.
Yeah, no team can really pull away, and I think you're going to start seeing that a lot on Drift Hardpoint at the start, at least at the start of the game. No teams haven't played it too much, if at all. I mean, OG said they didn't play it at all. How teams are going to adjust the playing?
If you've never played a map and you're going into it in a competitive environment for like one of the first times,
you just kill stuff.
Is that literally just the game plan? Just kind of rotate around the map?
As long as you can keep it close in the first half, you're in pretty good shape. If you've never played before,
I mean, that's what we saw with OG. We actually went over the actual graph of hill time yesterday when they played Envious. Started off, the whole first rotation was all Envy.
Right. And
then the second rotation, all of a sudden, Optic Gaming just kind of came back and managed to just pick up so much time, ultimately ended up winning that game. This one, though, has been back and forth. Both teams exchanging the lead several times amongst the first 5 minutes of gameplay. Now, Royalty back on your screens. He's going to be on that hardpoint, on a 5 streak as well now for Epsilon. Of course, again, this is an Epsilon host, so a win here is pretty crucial.
Yeah, and when I saw Swanee at Season 3 relegation, he was telling me that Royalty's host is pretty sweet. He was telling me that he didn't think they were going to lose a game on it here in the Pro League. So
really?
You know, some teams might not know about it yet, but
well, thanks, Matt. You just gave away the big secret.
Sorry. I imagine people gonna start to veto Royalty's host as the season goes on.
I mean, today
he's like the West.
Today was Remy that was vetoed. I mean,
I believe he's the West Coast of Canada.
Royalty. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like the middle of Canada, somewhere weird where nobody lives.
Everyone in the lobby is 3-barring except for Royalty.
Yeah, I fully expected that.
That's absolutely hilarious. Oh, that's crazy. Well then. I wonder how he does off. Have you seen him play off host yet? Yeah, you must have.
Yeah, he's played fine.
Fine?
He's played pretty good off host. But I think this is going to be a drastic change from on host to off host. And somebody in the chat was saying that Classic is going to be the main AR for this Elevate lineup moving forward. That they talked about it on stream, I guess, the other day. And they decided Classic going to be the main AR.
Do you agree with that?
I think you're going to see kind of an AR by committee for this team. Like, Classic may be the quote-unquote main AR, but I can totally see them changing it up from map to map.
Okay. Would make some sense. As Elevate coming back into this a little bit, it's just like arguably could have stomped there and picked up that kill, but didn't do so. Apathy's going to be on the hard point. 45 seconds of hard point time still left. It's going to be contested. Apathy just peeks around the corner. There will be a play lying down there. That was Remy. Picks up one. Can't find the second, though. Nagafen able to get control of the hill. He's pre-firing, but team still has control. Pulls out the ASM-1. He gets dropped. 163 to 133 now as Remy jumps onto the hard point for Epsilon. Hard point again contested. Turns around. Nearly hit him with the movement, but was unable to do so. And again, hard point contested. Pretty much similar stuff, only Epsilon now starting to build themselves a little bit of a lead, but it's a very, very fragile one there.
Yeah, it's not a lead that I can see them holding. I mean, you know, Elevate playing pretty strong here towards the end of the second half. You can see they're going to get the garbage time on this one. They need to rotate early and hold this next hard point. You see two players going over towards
Remy.
it for Elevate. Remy, he's going to break this one at the end, but it's really this next hard point. You see the kills coming in for Epsilon. Nagafen with one, Remy with one. You see Remy, he's going to be pushing the hill, but it's going to go to Elevate here, at least at the start. Remy trying to bust in here. He's going to have one player in front of him. He's going to be able to take him out, but still, the hill's going to be in the hands of Elevate, starting to make the comeback, Ben.
Apathy doing such a good job of just playing for his life. He's still alive somehow, and he's managed to reload 2 guns as well as he just stays alive. And again, massive play coming out from Apathy for Elevate here, because he's just buying his teammates so much time, picking up kills, turns around, couldn't find the second though, and I believe Classic's probably going to be the closest player from Elevate here to try and pick up a kill. May not want to jump on the hill just yet. 20 seconds of time left, final minute, 11 seconds. Classic picks up 2, 161 to 180. This is huge time for Elevate.
There's still a lot of time on this hill.
Saint's still there, he's last man alive. Desperately just trying to boost around. Picks up one. Can he find the second? Yes, he can. And that could be the lifeline that Elevate need. It's going to bring them 5 points pretty much within Team Epsilon. And this final hill now is going to be an absolute cluster map.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Swanee in the back of the snow trying to make something happen. Nagafen going to jump on board with him. He's going to dive into the hill for Epsilon, but you see Elevate picking up some kills. Nagafen's got to go big here. He picks up 2. You see guys on Elevate start to spawn pretty far out, and that might do it, Ben. You see Epsilon doing a nice job holding down this back, putting them tons of stuns on the guys on Elevate, and they should be able to do this.
I mean, 199 to 174, 20 seconds left. That is going to be GG. Got very, very close now. That final hard point, where did it really go wrong there for Elevate?
I know Elevate, they have to rotate late. They take the garbage time on the 4th hill, and then in that last one that we just saw, it was guys on Epsilon able to win all those gunfights at the start, and then after that did a nice job stunning those spawns from Elevate. They never got close. It's going to be a 202-184 victory for Epsilon.
Yeah, nice plays from them as they close out map number 1. Swanee with the round and a kill cam. He finishes at a nice 31-31. Royalty at 41-31 as well. Big performance from him. Saints not too far behind on Elevate. 39 kills, 31 deaths. From his perspective, Apathy putting a lot of pressure on hard points. 14 caps.
Yeah.
3 defends.
2 bar.
Yeah, on that 2 bar. Grim time to be playing on that 2 bar, but still put up a good fight. Of course, now that we do go over to an Elevate host for map 2 and map number 3. For now, though, quick commercial break. Be right back.